Jackie Kashian, Laurie Kilmartin.
We're up. We're doing it. I'm
Mhm.
I'm I'm in Green Bay, Wisconsin, where none of the hotel art in my room was football related. I was shocked.
It's a
I'm
pretty
also
color.
shouting into the internet. Sorry
I
about that.
like uh I like that blue behind you, that wall. That's a nice wall color for a hotel. Where are you staying? At a good one?
It's not a bad. It's we were in Eau Claire last night with the finest DoubleTree, Hilton DoubleTree ever created. I stayed there one other time. You might have remembered me gushing about it.
Hmm.
It's the Lismore DoubleTree Hilton in
Okay.
Eau Claire,
Okay.
and the restaurant is amazing. It's across the street from the Plus, which is where I was doing that Thursday
Okay.
in Eau Claire. And then Maria and I were doing the sort of civic center, which was down the block from the Plus.
Nice.
So
What's
so that was
and what's the plus?
the Plus is a pizza bar thing that has stand up every Thursday, and then it had stand up last night as well, Saturday, because tonight is Sunday.
Hmm.
And why are you making me yawn? Okay.
I'm about to pass out. I'm so sleepy. I had the pool is long course now in the afternoons on the weekends, 4 to 7.
Okay.
And so I just two long course workouts in a row, Friday, Saturday. I'm wiped. I could just lay down on the floor. I don't
What does
need a
that
Cheech
mean?
and Chong gummy tonight. That'll be incredible.
Wow. All right. What's a long course? What does that mean?
There's like two pool lengths, short course 25 yards. That's what you see most pools. And then at the Olympics, the long course is the 50-meter pool. So that's the long length. And
Okay.
so they flip the lane ropes. So a pool can be short course because they put the short lane ropes in, and then when they put the long lane ropes in, they make it long course. So this pool has to take out the lane ropes. It takes them an hour to make it long course.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
but wow, it's nice.
Oh,
It's
good.
Yeah.
Well, that
Um, yeah. Well, how was the show last night?
the shows have been good. It's what I did was I went to my niece's wedding and my other niece's baby shower,
Hmm.
and then I drove to Milwaukee. Well, and I also did a couple of sets. I think we talked about that. I picked up a Mike Kaplan and a Leslie Ball. I think I talked about that last week.
Maybe,
That I picked
yeah.
up a couple of sets, and then I drove to Milwaukee. Weirdly, I think I left on the Thursday, and it was right when Dana Gould and Bobcat were going to come do the Laughing Tap in Milwaukee.
Oh, hey, they're
And so I
moving
didn't
their
get
location too. The
Laughing
Laughing
Tap.
Tap. Hmm.
Oh, they put so much work into that
I
place.
don't know. I just saw like a Facebook post. They're going to be
Okay.
closed to move, but or renovate. Well, I don't know, something like that. But they're switching
Oh, they're
shit up.
doing something.
It sounds good. Sounds exciting.
Good. Good, good, good. Yeah, they put the work in. So, I haven't been able to figure out how to get back in there in a couple of years, but I'm always willing to try, and I always forget um
It's it
to
been?
to email.
It's been more
It's
than
been
a.
2 years, yeah, I think.
Oh wow. Yeah, it's
Remember
time, Jackie.
somebody, yeah, somebody had some sort of problem, and I got to sub briefly, last minute sub at the Milwaukee Improv. So
Oh right, yeah.
I decided to, whatever draw I had, I didn't want to mess with it uh for the Laughing Tap. I wanted to give them as much, as they could. So yeah, so I drove back to Minneapolis with my sister's car and dropped that off on the Thursday night, and then Friday morning rented a car, picked up Maria, drove to Rochester, Minnesota, did a show that night at the Mayo Clinic Civic Center, whatever. Super fun. And then we drove to Eau Claire yesterday, and then today we drove to Green Bay and did a show. And tomorrow I fly home, Monday.
Jackie, you're living the comedy life.
I am. It's a bit of a grind. It's a bit of a grind. Brian Regan emailed me to ask me if I could come to New York this weekend because he's going to slow down the weekend I'm here. I can't do it.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Um, but it's the weekend. He's decided he's going to tour, but he's going to tour a little bit less. So he was having a party for everybody who opened for him,
Oh, that's nice.
and
It's nice to
yeah,
have a
and he
career where
invited.
you can decide to tour less instead of having the industry decide they would like you to tour less. That's what I think I would like. I'd like to make that decision.
Right. Who wouldn't? Oh my gosh. It's yeah, we're coming to the end of TJ Markwalter finding me a lot of work. So I'm about to be out of work and gonna have to figure out the old-timey grind because the new agent has not been filling in my weeks, but I'm sure she's
Well,
trying.
it's my experience is terrible right now.
Right. So I'm just gonna have to figure it out. Maybe I think I might just start four-walling it, you know?
I don't know
Do
how to do
the
that. Do we, is that, it's like, oh, all right. I gotta fucking cold call, uh, small theaters. Oh,
yeah.
okay. What
But
the fuck?
we know so many comics that are doing it, so it'll be a slightly easier for us than because we
I
also
don't
have
think so.
credits.
I don't think it's going to be easier. It sounds like a total pain in the ass, which is why I don't own a comedy club. I just want to show up and tell jokes. Do I have
You're
to
not
do
wrong.
all 18 jobs now that are involved in producing a comedy show?
Hey
Fuck.
Laurie, could you dash off to Costco and pick up a box of taquitos?
Yes, we need drinks. Could you bar back? Could you wash these glasses? Okay. I'm still in showbiz, right?
It's there was a Lenny Bruce bit about him staying in Lima, Ohio, at the Showbiz Hotel with the projectionist. With the
Is that a real name
projectionist.
of a hotel or is he joking?
That was I'm probably joking, but
Oh
he
my
said
God.
the name of the hotel was the Showbiz Hotel, and it was him and the projectionist, and it made me laugh.
This, I can't, like, everything's getting worse. There's like AI's causing all these layoffs, and it is any, what's going to be our society in 5 years? Are people going to be able to afford to
Ukraine
come to
bombed
comedy shows? I'm just talking about
Ukraine bombed
Americans.
deep into Russia,
Yeah,
so
I'm
that
not
was
even
kind of good
going to
news.
Europe, Jackie. I'm saying here.
The
Why is she
United
bringing up
States is on
international
fire.
relations? Okay.
Well, the United
Yeah,
States
let's
is
talk
on
about
fire, and
Zelensky.
AI
That's what
is, yeah.
our fans love. So, but I'm saying all these people are getting laid off, and there's Obama retweeted this article saying people are not prepared for how quickly AI is going to rewrite society and make so many middle management, so many white collar jobs, eliminate them. This is our audience. Like, this is a, how do people afford anything? How do they buy anything if they don't have jobs? I don't know, Jackie. I'm just watching all this stuff happen big picture, and I'm really freaked out, and no
Because
one seems
you're,
to know about it
yeah.
or care about it in Congress because they're all 80 years old and they're going to be dead before AI takes their job. They have the few safe jobs as Congress.
Um, I would love to talk you down off of this ledge, but every day you have to read the news too many times.
I know.
So
It's awful. I know too much.
it's you know too much. The rest of us are just trying to figure out what we would do if ICE came up and tried to take
Oh,
our
right.
lives. My dad made some crack about ICE, and I said, hey, Dad, they would take you. You're an anchor baby, and I've been passing for white for 60 years. So, shut it.
Jackie, I believe you are white.
Um, well, remember in the 50s and 60s, was it 19 no, it was 1946, I think they passed the law that said that Asians, black people, Latinos, and Armenians could buy land in
Wait, they
Los Angeles.
added Armenia. Wait, what?
Yeah, Armenians were in the
And what was
were
the
in the
law?
red line
Okay,
that
what was the law?
they couldn't buy property.
Wait, what? Where was this
They
law?
couldn't buy houses in Los Angeles.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Wow.
In 1946 they changed the law.
Well, Jackie, you showed them with your Van Nuys palace.
with that 966 square foot
Wait, you got that
Baltic
extra
Avenue.
bathroom now? Hey, fuck you, city council.
That's right. Maybe there's something there. I don't think we can list it as it being just because we built it. So
You know what though? It's always like buyers should check permits. That's all you have to do, and that's a wink of yeah, there's some extra shit in here that you can use, but we just can't list
Oh,
it.
is that the language?
Yeah.
And then
Buyer check permits. Yeah.
right. And oh, I forgot to tell people. So I'm coming home, but I am doing some Los Angeles area gigs. I'm doing Better Half on Wednesday. And I'm doing El Segundo Barbecue Show. Remember El Segundo Barbecue Show? I'm doing that
I
one.
don't have a
on
memory of it. It's not popping
Friday.
in my head, but I know that it exists, and I'm sure I did it, and I bet I
And
had a
that's
good
how I have
time.
it listed in my calendar. El Segundo Barbecue Comedy Show.
Okay.
I know there's more information that's going to be revealed. And then, so I'm home this week, and then the following week I'm doing Acme, Minneapolis, June 11 to 14. Carmen Morales is going to feature for me. And then I'm back on the 15th, and I'm doing the Irvine Improv with Maria. I'm doing a benefit, I think, at the Crow on the 23rd, and then I'm doing the Ontario Improv with Maria on the 25th. I'm doing a benefit at the Whitfire, which is on Ventura Boulevard, on the 26th. And June 27th, I'm doing the Livermore with Maria. And then I think that's it. And then I think, I don't know what I'm doing in July. Yeah.
Yeah, my
or
career as a
anything.
stand-up ends in June as well. Uh, let's this weekend I'm the 5th and 6th. I'm at Dr. Grant's in Grand Rapids. I hope you guys can make the shows. 2 Friday, 2 Saturday. The following weekend, 13, 14, I'm at Stir Crazy in the Phoenix area, perhaps Glendale. The 21st, I'm doing that afternoon show at San Leandro. Might be repeating some material from last year, gang. I haven't written it 20 new clean ones. Sorry. So, but you know what? I'll mug differently. And so it'll feel like a new performance. And then I'm in New York for spots, the end of June. And then
Right.
that's it. Whatever. You know what? I got a spot at the Comedy Store again, finally.
There you go.
Because there was a
Back
change
in.
and the booker changed. And
Right.
so after there was a changeover, I didn't get any spots. And I was like, oh, I'm out.
You're worried. Yeah,
Yeah.
super worried.
But I had one on Saturday, and I did well. It was fine. So I don't know what that means.
Right.
Am I
You can't
on
know.
the every 6-week rotation,
Right.
or I have no idea. But it was nice to be back temporarily.
Yeah.
And yeah, I did.
You
a
do
few
any other sets?
Yep. Yeah, I was at the Haha as well on Saturday. Did a quickie and then ran over to the store. I mean, here's the thing: like, I can't do as many spots on the week during the week because of the job. It's just too exhausting. And and I know some other comics that are on the show, and they're like, yeah, we, and so part of me is like, okay, right now whatever new stuff I'm writing is going to be, it's going to take longer to happen. And it's okay if I just maintain, and write slowly. I just have to make that okay and not be mad at myself that I'm not, turning out new material at the same pace, because, I have different priorities right now. So
right. You got the job, and it's last 2 nights I've decided to try this another giant brand new chunk that the audience is just staring at me, and I'm like, maybe there'll be punchlines at Acme in a couple of weeks once you all come to Acme. And Maria, of course, is the best, and she's like, do the new stuff, super fun.
yeah,
And I'm like, it's 10 minutes long, and she's like, do it. So
I get too itchy. If something's not working, I bail pretty quick. I don't stick with it. I just go, you know what? I'm going to take a look at this off stage. And see
I
what's
dug in
happening.
and I stuck with it 2 nights. I don't know if I can do it again. I don't know if I can. I might try it at Better Half. I might try it at El Segundo,
It's too
but
painful. It's too
it's
painful.
painful. It's
And
painful.
then
That's
I
it.
always think this is a lot of people the one and only time they'll see me. And so, if, like, I had a set of flappers on Friday, and there's this little joke thing I did during our Zoom show that worked pretty well. And then
Mhm.
it seems to have lost momentum, or I'm forgetting something,
Right?
and it's not working. And I'm like, this should work. So,
Yeah.
and I told it quick, and then I was like, all right, you know what? Put that away and go to some other stuff. I
Right.
wish, whatever. I wish I could be awake 36 hours a day and do everything all the time. But, sometimes you have to go. I have to make choices. And
Right.
it's hard.
Right. Yeah. I had a really good time with my family, but it was intense because there were so many. My niece, my my brother's kids who had the wedding and the baby shower, they're related to so many people because
Yeah.
of blended families
Yeah.
that I was like, could there be a flow chart? I'm not above seeing some sort of like the beginning of a lot of you know uh series books. They often have Downton Abbey, who's related to who kind of nonsense. I
Mhm.
wouldn't have minded that. I would have been on board with that. um and then um I've been gone for like from home for like a week and a half, I think, maybe 2 weeks. And I feel completely out of it, where I go home tomorrow, but I think I'm already, and there's been no early mornings, and I still have had no rest. So it's weird. I only have energy on stage. Like before I get on stage, I'm just sort of lying there,
Right, right, right.
and then I go up, and it's like flipping a switch,
Yeah. I think
and
that's the
then
last thing that goes is the ability to perform, right? We can lose all five of our senses and then still be able to do a set.
I think you might be right, because I'm genuinely no one's more surprised than me when I get on stage. And I'm like, all right, here we go. And I'm also trying to write out the big set list. And if all the new giant chunks don't make it into the new album, it's fine, because I've got an hour 15. And I don't need an hour 15. I need 1 hour, or in the land of albums, 45 minutes.
Mhm.
And do you know that bands put out a new album every 30 minutes? Do you know that?
um, all of them?
Nope. Just the ones on the way up.
Hmm,
Essentially at my
interesting.
level. At my level, grinding it out, living in vans. And I've been doing the Pandora ads, and people say they're hearing them. So,
I did one for Dr. Grin, so hopefully that worked.
oh, good, good,
I
good.
don't know. We'll see.
Man, that crazy senator who said that everyone's gonna die.
Oh, Joni
Um,
Ernst.
yeah, Joni Ernst. That's it. You scrolling through her Instagram and finding a picture of her with her newborn child was the funniest thing. That I was like, there are a lot of comics who claim to be dark. You don't even claim to be edgy. You just are. It's just a delight.
I didn't scroll far. It's like one of the first pictures is her holding her grandbaby.
Which I think she took down, by the way.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, I think she did. I
Oh,
didn't
did
see
she get
it
a
when
lot
I.
of trolling on it? Good. What a
Yeah,
psycho bitch. And then
yeah.
her apology. Did you see the apology video from the cemetery?
All I saw was that somebody titled it that she doubled down.
Yeah. So she goes to a cemetery and she goes, a cemetery. And she's doing like a walking and talking. Well, I'd like to sincerely apologize. I guess you guys didn't know that you were going to die, but I'd like you, before you do die, I'd like to introduce you to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. It's like, what the fuck? Crazy.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
just nuts.
massive cunt. Massive cunt. You know,
Just a giant
and why
fucking.
would why would you say something like that when you know there's a Luigi in every state? You know, like that, if I was a politician, I would at least be careful about that kind of shit. You know,
Well, and she's a vet,
Jesus.
and I was looking at some statistics, and something like 1 out of every 3 people that use Medicaid is a veteran,
Mm,
and she's
wow.
a veteran,
She's
and
she's
so
also a rape victim. Like she should have a lot of empathy for a lot of different people, and she doesn't. She's a psycho bitch. I
she
don't
has
understand
genuine,
these
yeah,
Republican women are crazy. You know, we
yeah.
long for the days of dithering Susan Collin or Lisa Murkowski every once in a while. Now they're just crazy. It's Christy
Right.
Noem. It's this bitch. It's MTG. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, they're I don't even understand what they're on, but because it feels addled. And
It does. It doesn't. It's like, what has? Are you doing drugs for that to happen to your personality, or it
right.
can't just be money and access, right?
Ozempic?
I don't know. I haven't read that it makes you insane, but maybe it does.
Oh my God. Everyone keeps telling me, everyone at the wedding in Minnesota was telling me that they were doing it.
Really?
Like some of the people I'm related to, and then their friends, and then people's parents. And I was like, where are you getting it? They're like, it's like pot. You just tell them that you feel like you don't, you feel a little too heavy. And you're like, all right.
You know, I mean,
The side effects seem to be because some people stop taking it immediately because you get nauseous and you get acid reflux,
yeah,
and
there
it
are
makes
side
you not want
effects,
to eat.
but it also, you have to take it for the rest of your life then, or when you stop taking it, you go back to your old self. You reset to not necessarily weight gain, but however it removes the desire to eat, it'll come back, right? So
Okay.
you have to take it for the rest of your life. That's the thing. And the other thing is, it's pretty new. I don't
Yeah.
know. Do we know? I guess we'll know in 10 years if it really helped people or not. They say it does, and it has other properties that are helpful too that have nothing to do with weight loss. But I don't know, man. Just the fact that you have to take it forever, and if you stop, then it just, it's like
Yeah. I think.
another mortgage. Please. I have payments till I'm 85 on this SBA loan. I got to do another thing till I'm 85.
The crazy, what was it? Remember Olestra?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It has a vague Olestra vibe to it to me, even though I think Olestra, they just put it into food to make it fat free or something.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
for a while it was
everybody,
like, oh, we could have potato chips.
right, right. And then people lost their minds. Um,
I mean, I would love to be skinny. It would be fun.
sure.
But, uh it's the same thing with, like, if you get like when I had breast reduction, they took
Yeah.
like, I think like a pound and a half out of each breast or something like that. So they took fat cells out, right? But I'm
Hmm.
still eating the same amount. So the fat, just since it wasn't able to go on my breast, it went someplace else. So
Oh,
it doesn't, if you eat the same, which I do, it doesn't really fix anything. It just
right.
it moves things around. But I was fine with that. I didn't
Hmm.
realize that before, but I was like, well, I mean, I can't go back anyway, but I do like the breast reduction. So okay, I
Nice.
live with the other shit. But yeah, I mean, there's always a price to pay.
Yeah. Yeah. What did I mean, I've been eating just ridiculous, like just cheese and meat. Though yesterday I did have walleye, which is a little bit healthier.
Is that a
Um,
fish?
yeah, it's like trout. It's like a
Okay.
fancy trout.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't know that anyone else would describe it as a fancy trout, but let's write it down. Maybe we'll call this episode Fancy Trout.
Sure.
Um, this is going to be a bit of of a journey here, just because I don't have a lot else to talk about. I want um I want to have recorded my album and special. But I want all of the jokes to be tighter, and I would like to stop coming up with new joke ideas for just a hot fucking second.
Hmm.
Because all I want to do, when you write a new joke, all you want to do is work on the new joke.
Hmm.
And so, but I don't, but I also don't want to wish to not write new jokes because, when there's a dry spell,
Hmm.
I don't want to jinx myself. So
Well,
that's where I'm at.
you know
I
who
don't know.
we could talk about our friend who
Oh,
passed away.
right. Oh, in the night, just got a late text
Right.
saying that Becky Pedigo passed. Comic of the week, I think. Kyle, did you ever know Becky?
I did not. I'm trying to place it.
She
She's
was she's
yeah.
our age, right? And
Mhm.
she had breast cancer for a year, didn't tell anyone, and returned to Amarillo, where she's from, about a week ago, and then, died there. And I worked with her very early, like one of my first road gigs. I was working. I was emceeing. She was featuring, and Mrs. John Hughes was the headliner. And I'm 99% sure it was the Comedy Works in Fort Collins when they had the Fort Collins room. And we all lived in a house together. And she
Right.
was just really funny and smart and sharp. And she had like a kind of a soft Southern accent, so a lot of the stuff you weren't expecting from her.
Because it was just would cut through.
Yeah.
It was super sharp.
And
But it came from this. Yeah.
you said she did a Comedy Central Presents in '06, so she has a half
Yep.
hour out there.
Yeah, there's a half hour on Comedy Central um from 2006, and I don't know if that's where I did mine in 2003, but I think we had crossed paths somehow. And then I think we ran into each other at the Improv and we hung out for a little bit. And then she lived down sort of by El Segundo, like
Yeah,
down the,
Manhattan Beach area, something, right?
yeah, down the
Yeah.
bay. And I would like for a couple of years, I would see her at the Improv, or um, and then we'd go out before our sets, or I'd drive down to Manhattan, like way south. Like I think we'd meet, she'd come further north, and I'd go as far south, and then But one time I did go because she was the manager of a restaurant,
Hmm.
and today I was rereading some of her blog,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
I posted it on Twitter too. Like
yeah,
if you're, when you want people to enjoy the stuff that you did, whether it's stand up or writing or whatever,
yeah,
when you pass, at least to be aware of what you did.
yeah. So, yeah, so that was really cool, and it was Mike Siegel, I guess, who posted
Right.
the reveal that, because she posted the last blog she posted in January, when I guess she had the cancer, but she didn't post anything about it. And it's her right to not tell anybody and
Of
to just
course.
die as she wants to die. But it was um it was shocking. It was shocking because she's just a great loss, a great loss.
Yeah. I mean, I guess people, would love to tell you, "Hey, I love you," before you pass, if
Yeah.
that's going that way. But you know, maybe that's a lot to take in, I guess,
Well, you're
too.
trying to process the rest of it. Maybe, yeah,
Yeah.
you can't be responsible for, everybody else's feelings as you're dying, maybe.
Right. I just wonder, like, if she had good health insurance, and not people do, but obviously people die from breast cancer still, but there are so many treatments for it. I just think, well, did
Right.
someone fucking miss something?
Right, right.
I don't
Did
know.
it come late? Yeah. It's but Becky Pedigo, great comic. R.I.P.
Yeah,
man.
really funny. And the other thing, it's like, she, she deserved more success than she got. Like, you guys should
Yeah.
all know her name, and
Yeah.
you probably don't, because she didn't have the same career that a lot of other people had, and it just reminds you, like, ugh, it's fucking business. You know,
Right,
it's
right.
hard.
And it's really hard. And it also reminds you that Los Angeles is full of so many talented people that nobody's ever heard of. I mean, before lockdown, I would do a lot more in-person shows, obviously, right?
Mhm.
In town. And I would meet new comics every every 3 months. I'd meet like two or three new comics. I'm like, who the hell
Yeah,
are you?
yeah, right.
You're amazing. And that was, and she was definitely one of those where you're just like, oh my gosh, you're so good. So I hear
Yeah.
Charmy in the background.
Oh, sorry, I can't stop her. She's
Might be a
Can't
good
protecting.
time
stop.
for a break.
Might be a time for a break. Charmy knows the 30s come up. Well, we got a comic of the week that
Oh
made
my
me laugh
God.
so hard I cried.
Me too. This was
The
such a funny
Lou
bit.
Wall. Was it Lou
She's
Wall?
Yeah, she's Australian, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm getting good at figuring out these accents, Jackie.
That's
And
it.
if you find her Instagram, it's the Lou, Lou, Wall, Wall. She has this bit where she kind of puts up a series of texts. She went back and forth with somebody when she was giving away something free on Facebook Marketplace, and the person became more insane by the text. It was fucking hilarious.
There's no way to even explain the end of
No,
it.
you can't.
You don't
You
even
gotta watch
want
it.
to because you don't want to, right?
Yeah,
So it's
you
just
gotta.
she's giving away a free bed frame.
Yeah,
The woman will not, and so it goes back and forth, and then it ends in a way you don't even know.
no.
You don't
And
even know why it ends that way.
I give away stuff on Craigslist, and it is crazy. Like, it's free. Why are we having any more discussion? If
Just
you
come
want
pick it
it,
up,
come get it. Yeah.
and then
Oh my
it's
God. But
gone.
that was
Yeah,
an all timer. And the way
yeah.
she
So
and the way she presented it was really funny. That's like, oh, that's how a pro deals with this. It's she added music to it. She sang a little bit. It was just really it wasn't just her
PowerPoint.
just drawing her text up on a PowerPoint. Like,
Mhm.
she did some extra work, and just really, really funny.
It looks like it was filmed at the gala at the Melbourne Comedy Festival.
Oh, really?
And so the Lou Wall is her name,
I
and
like
I
Lou
bet
as a
she's
girl's name. You know what? We don't do that here in America, and that's got to stop. I demand any pregnant listeners name your daughter Lou. I like it.
Lou. What do you think it's short for? Louise?
I don't know. That's a incredibly good guess. I don't know what else it would be short for.
That's what I'm known for. My incredibly good guesses. It's Maria bought me a romance novel because sometimes she goes into a CVS or something and she thinks it's funny that I read them.
CVS.
Yeah.
She goes book shopping at CVS. That's
Oh,
hilarious.
she'll buy clothes at a CVS. It's the weirdest. And well, actually, I think she was at the bookstore in Eau Claire that was like a sort of an indie bookstore. So she
Mhm,
bought me a cowboy one. So it's modern cowboy romance novel.
mhm.
And then today on the ride from and I read it, of course, in an hour and a half because I just skimmed and I was like, wait, she had ADHD? What happened? And so no condom, no condom. I was like, you guys, if he's quite the horn dog that you're saying he has HPV. Everyone has it. So there's no reason not to use a condom. It's
Yeah.
so
Maybe
but
you
she
can
was
make
like,
some
yeah,
notes in the book and then donate it to
and leave it.
Goodwill. Yes.
I left it in the hotel room.
Mm,
I left a couple of them in the hotel room with the hotel tip. Um
excuse me.
and then yeah, and then now Darla and my niece a nephew bought me a pair of Snoopy shoes that they found at a thrift store, except for that they're size 9.5, 10 men's. So I've been wearing them for a week and a half just because I'm wearing clown floppy shoes. Who cares? I don't wear them on stage. I just wear them around.
Sure.
And tomorrow I'm leaving them here. They are staying in this hotel room.
Yeah, no room in the
Mm-mm.
suitcase. That reminds me, I'm flying Southwest this weekend. And
Did they change it yet?
Well, yes, I think so. But I am A-list, so I think I get one checked bag, which is pretty much all I need for this one.
Right.
But still, I'm infuriated. Private equity is slowly ruining everything. They they bought and bankrupted Joann's. I mean, if you listen to crafters channels, crafters are devastated. And Jackie, you know me, I took a sewing class. I'm an aspiring crafter, so I'm pre-devastated at the lack of selection.
Actually, walking around Eau Claire today, I saw a fabric store, and I was like, "Oh, this is a privately owned fabric store that is in downtown Eau Claire," and it makes sense because Joann's is gone. And who bought it? And
private equity bought it and then stripped it as they do and sold it for parts. They took whatever they could and then they just bankrupted it. That I don't know why that's legal. How were you allowed to do that to all these careers and all these people that work there and shop there? You know,
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where. It always felt like, when I was a kid, people were like, "My mom makes my clothes," and I'm like, "Yeah, I can see that." And but I don't know, I didn't think it was cheaper. It's not like you're using the curtains like Julie Andrews in The Sound of Music. You have to buy fabric, and fabric is expensive.
It is expensive, but you can, I'm guessing, and this is how I will do it when I become a sewer, is I'll get something exactly, I'll get a pattern exactly the way I want it, and then it will fit me perfectly instead of everything in my closet that kind of fits. It's either too big or too small, but nothing really fits perfectly. Right?
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Maybe.
But also,
what you could also do is use old dresses and sort of unpick them and use that. That might be a way to save money too.
Okay. You mean tear them apart and use that fabric?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. I'm not
Reconstruct
getting
them and then reconstruct.
to that
Yeah.
level of sewing, Jackie. I just want to
No,
best.
Dolly Parton did with the coat of many colors. So
sure. So only Amy Miller got that reference that you just made. Okay.
Lydia Popovich might be listening. You don't know. People love Dolly Parton.
But here's the thing: getting things altered costs a lot of money.
Yep.
You know? So if I could learn to sew just a few things, that'd be great.
Yep. My nephew made a bag. He took a sewing class as well. My nephew Judah. He made a little tote, and he didn't realize that when you sew the seam, you turn it inside out. So he sewed it on the wrong side, so it was the back of the fabric became the bag. But get this, it was still a bag. He made a bag.
It holds things. That's all you need, right?
Right. Step 1, you've learned how to sew and make a bag. Next thing, you learned how to make a bag with the shiny part on the outside.
Yeah.
Did you take home ec in school?
I did. We had home ec. Here's the thing. My mom was a sewer, so I rejected everything she stood for. And but now she's gone and I can embrace.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
She's not the boss of you.
I'm so tired. It's hard to stay conscious right now. You must be exhausted.
Right. There's what do I got here? Do I have anything? I can't. Okay, so I'm just gonna tell you my new premise because we gotta fill this. We're gonna fill this time, and it's interesting. And there's no comedy here. You know what this is? This is an interesting story that needs.
Let's hear it.
1900 punchlines. I'm the youngest, right? And so all 5 of my siblings have always sort of, not Darla as much, but the rest of them for sure have always said that I was the only one who had a childhood. Like the rest of them had to be adults right after our mom died.
But
They
how
had
old were
to,
you? You were
well,
6,
after
right?
my dad left, when I was, I just turned 7 or 8, so 7. When I was 8, my dad remarried, but
Okay.
everybody else was at least 10. And there were
Right.
these 4 years when my dad was trying to figure out, like, my mother was sort of raising us alone. My grandmother was there. My dad was sending money to my grandmother, whatever. But
Your dad was not home. Your
he
mom,
was not right.
okay.
My dad was not home, and so there was 4 years when we were all just feral. And the funny things about it is that my oldest brother Terry was about 14, and my youngest brother would have made him about 10 or 11. And Russ always said that Terry should have stepped in and became there was a leadership vacuum, and that Terry should have stepped in and taken advantage of that leadership vacuum. When, of course, Terry did. He got laid. He got drunk. He started selling weed.
So he
He,
he
he,
actually became your father.
he no, except for he became somebody's father, but
Right.
not mine.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he was because my dad actually wasn't that guy. He has other issues, and but the and then my brother Phil and Scott, they both got drunk and high and screw. I'm just it was just a mess, and everybody was trying to figure out how to get more money because my mother didn't have any money, and all the money went to my grandmother to pay for different stuff, right? So the funny story I heard this week from my brother Russ and was corroborated by other siblings was that my brother Scott had this. You remember, he's 12. This is his plan to make money when he's 12.
Mhm.
There's a laundromat in South Milwaukee. You buy soap, you put in 3/4, you get 15 cents change. It's 60 cents. Scott would stuff towels, paper towels, up the change thing so the 15 cents wouldn't fall. And at 11 o'clock at night, he would make Russ or Darla or somebody do lookout, and he would come and he would take all.
Look out.
And do you know why they had to do lookout? The laundromat in South Milwaukee is right next to the police station.
So how much money did he make?
Like 85 cents.
It's not
But
bad,
remember,
Jackie.
it's 1970, right?
Thank
It's
you.
1969. And it's so that and Russ had a paper route when he was 8, and he sort of sharecroppered it out where he would essentially take more houses than he could handle, and then he had other little boys deliver, and then he would pay them less than he
That's
was
a
getting paid.
pyramid scheme. I don't know how sharecropping got in this. He's running an MLM right now when he's 8 years old. That's kind of incredible.
It was incredible, and he also was with a he had a tough guy 10-year-old kid that he hung out with who was also paperboy kid, and they would go and make sure everybody paid for their paper because there was a lot of people who wouldn't pay for the paper.
Oh,
I
don't you
remember
have
this
to tell?
being
I had a paper out. I know this. Yeah.
make them pay.
I don't, and I'd like to know why the Contra Costa Times and Dean Lesher, the publisher, were sending me to these condos where these creeps lived and having me demand money from men. I
Right,
can't
right,
believe nothing happened to me. Honestly.
right, right, for real. Well, what Russ and his buddy would do, his buddy would just ask Russ to go with him just as muscle. You should know, by the way, that my brother Russ is Lego sized. And at this time, he's 8. And so the two of them, they'll go up and they go to the houses and they're like, you guys owe, for, 2 weeks of whatever, it's $1.40. And, and the woman would occasionally say, or be a housewife, and she'd say, well, my husband takes care of all the bills. You'll have to come back. And the 10-year-old would say, well, when is he home? And she would say, in a couple of hours. And I guess Russ said that his 10-year-old buddy, they had a wagon that they would deliver the papers in, right?
Oh, wow.
And so he also had in there a tiny folding table and 2 chairs. And he pulled the table and put it on the porch
Like Lucy.
for this one woman. And then 2 chairs. And then he told Russ to sit down, and he pulled out a deck of cards. And he said, "We're going to play rummy till he gets home."
Wow. That's
And
incredible.
right. And the woman said, "I'll go get you $1 for it."
I know, it was so little money. Oh my
Right.
God.
It wasn't a lot of money. But there's like all of these, everyone had this plan of how to make money because there was no money, right? My
Yeah.
mother didn't ever. And so, yes, they all had to be adults. I got to be a child. Matter of fact, one of Russ was selling student council candy bars, not student council, Little League candy bars. And I was 4 years old. So I didn't understand how much they were. I just thought, oh, he's supposed to get rid of these. And he's supposed to get money for them.
Right.
So I sold them. They were like $0.25 each, and I sold them for a nickel each.
Oh no.
And he had to come up with the money.
Oh my
And by the way,
God.
he's still mad.
Understandable. You really.
So I think there's comedy there in the fact that because when Nancy came into our lives, there was structure, and there was milk in the fridge, and we all got new underwear. I mean, there was like, we got all these things, and I got to be a child.
I see.
And they were all like busy with their small businesses. And I decided to play imagination and pretend. And my parents freaked out and were like, "What are you doing?" Like, I was the weirdo. And they told me that I was nuts. Yeah. Remember, I wanted to use the Sigmund Freud thing. Yeah.
You know what? When you talk about that, I keep thinking of your mother dying and how traumatizing that is, and you kind of skip by it. Maybe, I don't know if other people get lost in that, but maybe you need a little comedy about that, or you know what I mean? I don't know.
Right. I've only got a couple of jokes about it, but it did help. You know, that old joke I did about being hit a lot. It always, I had a throwaway line in the middle of it where I talked about that it's over now, right?
Yeah,
Nobody's hitting me anymore. It's all good.
Yeah.
So there might be room for something like that, you know? Like as traumatic as it was to lose a parent, you know.
Yeah.
My father immediately replaced that person because he, of course,
That's
is
what
more
men
than willing.
do. I'm telling you. My grandfather did it when my
Did he?
grandma died. He immediately remarried. My uncle, when his first wife died, he immediately men do that. They immediately fucking remarry. They find somebody, especially if they have kids, because they don't know what to do with these kids, and they're like, I need a new mother. I need somebody to take care of this. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, they get away with murder, these men.
Kyle.
Sorry, Kyle.
No, I mean, you're not wrong.
I figure, since you're not a widower, I figure this wouldn't.
I can't unsee these things after years of this show.
Well, isn't that the way? I saw a Ralph Waldo Emerson quote. It was something like, "Don't mistake." It's too late. Look up read all of Ralph.
That's it. Emerson, Emerson, the old Emerson quote, "Don't mistake."
He's always gabbing.
It's too late. It's let me never fall into the vulgar mistake of dreaming that I'm persecuted whenever I'm contradicted.
Ooh, okay.
Yes,
that's real good.
Sure.
Second break.
That's what he is. What about Roots Picnic? Did you guys hear about Roots Picnic?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
It was like a Coachella. It was like a new Coachella in that the Roots ran in Philadelphia.
Oh.
And they have got to return a lot of people's money. $400 a ticket.
What happened? Was it a fire festival thing?
Yeah, no. It was a real festival, and it was all happening, but the weather was so bad that they were supposed to open at 1. It didn't open till like 7. So people stood in line for like 10, 11 hours. No food, no water. They didn't have trucks or anything to help.
See,
so they dropped the ball.
the poor Roots, they just want to play music, but now because of the industry, they got to provide food and drinks and seats for people in line. Jackie, we aren't meant for this. We're just meant to tell jokes.
Right. We were just trying to tell jokes. Hey, it's 50 minutes. We should take that
Yeah.
second break.
Let's do that.
It happened. What I need from you at some point, Laurie, is you probably have a pretty good suggestion. Do you have an Irish American nonfiction book that is compelling and not too long, not 472 pages?
Is this a trap?
Nonfiction. What do you mean, like Irish history or something?
Yeah. Something about some famous.
Oh, why don't you read? Shit, Hulu just did a show about Say Nothing. Say Nothing
Is what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's great.
I'm looking for a new book for my dad. I've given him for the first 4 seasons of Arrested Development, and he had this to say about it. It gets worse. I like it. And I said, that's what happens to all TV shows, Dad. I don't know if you're familiar with the arc. He's like, I don't know.
My parents loved Arrested Development too. They used to watch it together. I can't believe it's been 11 years since my dad died. That's so wild to me.
Yeah.
Whatever. Now, at some point now, we can divide our lives into these little eras,
Mm-hmm.
And there was the era when I needed to get away from my parents, and then the era where I didn't, but I was away from them, and then the era of I just wanted to keep them alive a little bit longer.
Right. Yeah, I told my dad that if he lives till Christmas, Andy and I will come and go to like the hotel. There's a fancy old-timey Gilded Age hotel in Milwaukee.
Oh no! Oh, I think I've been there. I think I stopped by there when I was at the Laughing Tap the last time.
Yeah, and they have like ice sculptures at a buffet, and they have people in top hats singing a cappella.
Oh, neat! And that's just at Christmas.
Just at Christmas, and he said, "I'll live. I'll make it." And then Darla said, "We'll go anyway."
How is his? But how is his health? Do you see any deterioration, or just kind of like my mom? I saw a huge drop off before everything started.
He's just tired. He's more tired. Like I took him. We went to breakfast, and then we went on a couple errands. He gave me 4 new paintings. And
I think I saw you post some of them. I really liked them.
They're very nice, but I have a stack of paintings. I've sold, I didn't sell any of the previous 3. It turns out everybody liked the bear. And I'm loath to tell him, I've said, if you had a whimsical bear series, Dad, it would probably go pretty well. But he was trying for realism, which just makes it, which is just, nice. If you would like a picture of a swan on your wall, he's painted too. But he did some lilies that people bought, both lilies and the bear.
Nice.
And the old one from the last batch, the leopard. But they didn't care about the swans. And he's like, well, I thought those swans would go. And
yeah, welcome to the life of an artist, Elliot. Right? They never like the shit you love.
I thought that the swans would go. It's yeah, I told him, I said, people like the whimsy, Dad. But if you got more chickens in you, I'm sure they'd love them. But he does like painting a chicken, so there might be more chickens.
Well, my son, he continues to rack up the views on his ridiculous videos. Mm-hmm. And he made one that I was like, this is very Adult Swim. It was just bizarre and had some weird shit in it. It really made me laugh. But I feel like you have to know the anime to really enjoy it, but maybe not. I don't know. But so TikTok offered him if he put up X amount of videos in a month that he could make up to $7,500. And I'm like, I have never gotten that email from any social media. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was doing really good with some of the ad bonuses on Instagram.
Mhm.
And so I did the thing and they paid me really good 1 month. And then I never got the ad that they were like,
Was
"Oh,
that
now that we have you hooked."
was that before? I mean, they did lower their prices, right? That they pay out. Was that a while ago?
It was a while ago. It might have been before they started paying, but there's this extra thing called bonuses that they'll do where you have to do a certain number of videos. Ann Arbor posted one of my new jokes from a video that they took.
Oh,
And I was like, it's fine. I mean,
I
quite
know.
honestly,
I know. What?
I'm like, you guys are going to hear the other two dick jokes. It was the barrel joke.
Oh, well,
And then
I
they asked me
mean,
to collaborate. And I'm like, fine.
the thing is like we get, it's just there's so many people that are not going to see our stuff.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? I don't know what to say, and
Right.
it's your all's fault for watching this shit all the time. And don't get mad at us if you've heard these jokes on Instagram when you come to a show. Okay?
And you probably haven't. And you probably haven't because there's just too many people and too much content. And honestly, I'll probably have written another joke anyway. So,
Stand-up comedy was not meant to be churned out like this. Okay, we're meant to work on jokes for months, maybe a year on a chunk, and then you get to tell it for as long as you like telling it.
do you remember the old vaudeville? Like Bob Hope and Bing Crosby stole all the old vaudeville
Yeah, I didn't know
acts when
Bob and Bing did. I knew Bob did, but I didn't know Bing did too.
they I don't even know that they did, but their writers did for the road movies. They stole
Okay.
all of the all of that stuff. All the road movies have everybody's act from vaudeville.
Oh, that would piss me off.
Oh my God. Well, because people had been doing their same act
Yeah.
for decades.
Yeah.
And because it had not been filmed, it had not been recorded, it
Yeah.
was, and people are like, "Oh, here's that thing," and yep.
Well, it
But
was
yeah, they
do
road
you remember
movies.
the old John Fox model where John Fox the comic, not the booker? By the way, I think that both of them, that's their name. John Fox the booker, not the comic, and then John Fox the comic, not the booker.
I couldn't pick them out of a lineup, but every story is either about John Fox the Booker or John Fox
I
the comic.
know. And the comic has an H in the name, and the booker is JON, if that helps. But
Okay.
anyway, John Fox, the comic, iconically came up with 45 minutes in, I don't know, 1972, and then never stopped doing it. And that
Oof.
exact 45 minutes, and you know, did okay.
Right, right. Until it was over.
I mean, he
Is he
may have
still working?
snorted all of his income, but that's
Oh, sure.
we all have our habits we have to pay for when we're on the road. It's too lonely.
Right. I bought walleye, so could have been anything. Well, Lori, it's been great talking to you.
I feel like we just met about a half hour ago.
I look forward to doing a lot of sets this next week, but also being home, lying in my own bed. It's going to be nice.
It will be nice.